To the Sportsman division now, and talking with veteran St. Catharines driver Jay Mallerie. Jay, how long have you been coming to Merrittville? You're certainly not a newcomer to this track.
No, I'd say about 5 or 6 years now we've been coming regular.
And, of course, your family has a proud tradition of this track as well.
Yeah, that's right. My father's been involved for about 30 years now.
Even back with the old mini stock.
That's true, yep. He's been in the 6-cylinders, modifieds, minis. He's been in all classes except for the bombers and amateurs.
Getting kind of crowded here in the Sportsman pits. There are more and more cars every week. Give us an idea what your feeling is driving these cars, a 350 cubic inch V8. Nothing really trick except for headers, but very, very competitive, no doubt.
Yeah, that's true. Each and every week we get some new competitors out, and it gets a lot harder. Every week's a little harder to win, and you just try to get a little edge on the other guy.
I know Dirt basically says, let's put the Sportsman division in to keep the costs down, but you can probably tell us you can sink a good deal of dough into one of these two, can't you?
Yeah, I would say like everything's identical. If you got to go and buy a part, it's all the same as the modified except for the motor.
Okay. Any plans of maybe going up to the modifieds one day?
Right now we're pretty satisfied sticking with the 350s, but hopefully maybe in a year or two we'll give the modifieds a shot.
Got a lot of fans out there. Best of luck in 89, Jay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Jay Mallerie out of St. Catharines. Merrittville pace car on the racetrack, and we're all set to go here on McLean Hunter Cable 10 at Merrittville Speedway with the Sportsman feature. Leading him out is car number 31, George Bossy out of Niagara Falls, the original Troyer Mud Bus. Car number 82 is Dwayne Winfield out of Fort Erie. Car 37S out of St. Catharines, that's Harry Sittler. Car number 3F is Rob Lettingham out of Port Colborne in his Troyer. The 21B, Conrad Baker out of Ridgeway. The 77 Junior, Bill Willard Jr. out of St. Catharines. The 105, Paul Fitzgerald out of the Garden City of St. Catharines. The 3A is Paul Ashton out of Ridgeway. Car number 20, the man we just talked to, Jay Mallerie out of the Garden City. The 14W, last week's feature winner, Cliff Warner out of Port Colborne. The 230, Larry Senegay out of Port Colborne. The 24A, that is John Lewis out of Font Hill. The 76 car being driven by Ray McIver out of Sanborn, New York. And it looks like they're getting all bunched up to get going here. The number 2, Dean Montrell out of St. Catharines. We'll give you the others as the race progresses, because the green flag is out and flying for Mary Davidson. And away goes the Sportsman division. And George Bossy in the 31 on the brakes. Some heavy contact there on the nerfs of some of the other cars trying to find their position, find their niche. A lot of cars, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. Jay Mallerie is on the move in car number 20. And car number 31. George Bossy leads them down, but the yellow comes out. Now the number 11, the 111, pardon me, Joe Mizell out of Hamilton with some heavy-duty smoke out of the right rear of that car. And the number 2, Dean Montrell, we see him back there, is what caused it. He got crunched pretty good in some wheel hop. The left front tire and steerage assembly, the tie rods and everything else, pretty mashed up there. But boy, oh boy, they really started to charge off the restart. Dean Montrell is about where we left off in our lineup. Todd Turner out of Hamilton drives car number 11, the 24T. We'll get him in here. Bruce Parks out of Ridgeway, the 111, Joe Mizell, the man who was doing all that smoking, in car 111, the 111 and 43 car, completing our field.
You're going to definitely have to use your chalkboard on this one.
So they're going to get them all lined up again. Ray McIver, car number 76, joining the back again, and they've got Dean Montrell up on the hook. And they'll get him moved away straightway. One lap completed, one lap. 20 laps and 19 to go. We've completed one. George Bossy in car number 31 is still up there where he started, front row inside. George Bossy in car 31 of Niagara Falls. 82, Dwayne Winfield out of Fort Erie. Harry Sittler, second row inside. And Rob Lettingham in the 3F from Port Colborne in his Troyer. Bill Willard is third row Inside in the 77 Junior, he was running away with the feature here last week when he lost power and had to hand over the lead to Cliff Warner, who is right back in the pack as well, in beside the 21B of Conrad Baker, with the looks of things, in the 4th row outside. You can be sure he is going to move up. Well, there's the Merrittville pace car, and the rest of this wonderful-looking field of Sportsman cars. 350 cubic inch Chevrolet is the power plant of choice. 1 stock 2-barrel carburetor, stock manifold. They are allowed to run headers and a quick change rear end. Start a little baby brother of the Mighty Modifieds if you want. Yellow lights are out. And we're almost set for the restart. The Merrittville pace car drops off into the pit area. Here comes the field. George Bossy will lead him around. 3 and 4. Picking up speed. Here comes the roar. Here come the cars, and there's the green flag, and there they go. George Bossy. Bill Willard has lost power again, but this time early in the event. Bill Willard's car just quits, and he drops back, and everybody gets by. Oh, another tough break for Bill Willard Jr. out of St. Catharines. And here comes George Bossy in the 31 and the rest of the field. And Bill Willard is not going to be able to pull it off the racetrack in time, and that's going to bring out another yellow. I guess Willard figured he could get the car refired. He obviously was not able to. And with that amount of automobile hardware roaring down your back, that brought out the yellow in a hurry. And that's what a good flagman does, and that's why Barry Davidson threw the yellow. It's all in the realm of safety. So everyone is getting shuffled around, and here comes the deck shuffle, trying to get everyone lined up correctly in behind the Merrittville pace car.
24th place car. Then your 37. They'll get them straightened out as soon as possible. They got the
24 cars.
Second place, 31 and 3
starting this event.
Billy, you want to get that coming in your corner?
And they still got Bill Willard back up there on the hook. There you see him now moving into camera range as the pace car in the field goes by. Mother's Day Eve here at Merrittville.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
George Bossy in the 31, still in control at Niagara Falls. Right beside him, the 3F of Robbie Lettingham and the 82W. Dwayne Winfield is Harry Sittler. 3A of Paul Ashton. And there's Cliff Warner, last week's feature winner. And they're going to get everybody all shuffled in the correct order. Bill Willard is on the back of the hook. And he's in the pits. There he goes. You see him out of the camera range there. And they're still trying to get people in correct order. Still to come, the modifieds. Merrittville action again in 89 on McLean Hunter Cable 10. Eric Thomas with you. Nice to have you aboard. Mother's Day Eve. Nice and cool night. The track in absolutely excellent shape. Not a puff of dust anywhere. Still a lot of cars out here to go through. Let's see if Cliff Warner can make it 2 in a row. He's back 3rd row, it looks like, outside of row number 3. Cliff Warner in the 14W out of Port Colbert. Barry Davidson looks him over. And I wonder if he likes what he sees. The yellow lights are out. Merrittville pace car picks up the pace. He will drop off, make an abrupt right turn, and drop off into the pits. There he goes. George Bossy is now in control of the field, and here they come. Making them fair and square, closing up all the gaps, all the holes. Hammer down on everybody else, and here they come. Underneath Barry Davidson. Sportsman cars at his feet. And down they go between 1 and 2 and thundering down the back stretch. George Bossy, the 3F of Rod Lettingham, right beside him. They're going to come down the front stretch. Lettingham goes the high groove. Cliff Warner drops it off a little bit off the groove on the front straightaway. George Bossy, the 3F of Rod Lettingham right there. Paul Ashton, 3A out of Ridgeway, right there in 3rd place. Cliff Warner in 4th. Right beside Ken Winfield's 82. 4 laps are down, 16 to complete. 20-lap Sportsman feature. Lettingham takes over the lead from George Bossy, but it's still very early in the event. Rob Lettingham in the 3F, 31 at George Bossy. 3A, Paul Ashton, the 14W, Cliff Warner. Paul Fitzgerald in the 105 is on the move. Can he catch the 82W of Dwayne Winfield? They duel down the backstretch. There's the 3A of Paul Ashton. There's your leader, the 3F of Rob Lettingham and George Bossy. Right in behind him, Paul Ashton, the 3A, and Cliff Warner in the 14W. Keep your eyes on this pack right now. Cliff Warner now trying to take over third place from Paul Ashton's 3A. But around number 4 they come. Robbie Lettingham in the 3F, George Bossy, the 31. Still the 3A of Paul Ashton and the 14W of Cliff Warner. And then here comes the rest of the aggregation. Out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway, still your leader, the 3F of Rob Lettingham. 8 laps completed, 8 laps. And Lettingham now trying to stretch it out just a little bit. Cliff Warner, right in beside Ashton's number 3A, and he'll take over third place. So last week's feature winner, Cliff Warner and Port Colborne in the 14W, moving up one position. And now challenging George Bossy's 31 for second place, as a 3A of Paul Ashton drops off the pace just a tad. There's the 3F of Rob Lettingham, your leader, one more time under Barry Davidson. 10 down. We're halfway through the event. Halfway through. And Rob Lettingham doing a nice job here at the Ridgeway. Think that Port Colborne. Correction. It is Troyer. Rob Lettingham in the 3F. 11 laps are down. George Bossy is still your second place runner in car 31. And the 14W of Cliff Warner is in third. Lettingham in the 3F. Running away with it here. George Bossy, and then about another 3-car length behind him, the 14W of Cliff Warner. Lettingham just running circles down on the back end of the 105 of Paul Fitzgerald. Now some contact there with Fitzgerald's 105, and that proved pretty dangerous. If Lettingham had got tangled up there, would have been curtains. But he's able to get by Fitzgerald's 105 with no damage. Now he's on the back end of the 24T of Bruce Parks out of Ridgeway, and he gets by him with no damage. George Bossy now trying to get by the 105 of Fitzgerald, as the lead trio is now entangled with some of the back markers. Rob Lettingham in the 3F out of turn number 4 into the starter stand. There he is. Moving it down into turn number 1 and doing a nice job. Down the back stretch. No one close. George Bossy in car 31 is the second place runner, and the 14W of Cliff Warner, there they are, in behind Bruce Parks' 24T. Starter stand vantage point. And Lettingham now trying to get by the 16 of Billy Baker out of Virgil. Swings it high and swings it wide and brings it down the front straightaway, getting by more back markers. And Robbie Lettingham in the 3F out of Port Colborne is really showing the way to do it. No one's going to catch him tonight. At least he breaks, of course. Here he comes again. Rabbit ears are up from Barry Davidson. There are 2 laps to complete. 18 down, just 2 more to go. And it has been a milk run to this point for Rob Lettingham out of Port Colborne in the 3F. Second place is still the 31 of George Bossy, if he can get through some back markers. Cliff Warner in the 14W running in third place. The white flag is out. The white flag is out for the field. One more circuit. 19 laps are down. Rob Lettingham coming up. Checkered flag for Rob Lettingham in the 3F. Pretty easy drive. Second place unofficially George Bossy, and Cliff Warner in the 14W finishing in third place is the way we count them visually under Barry Davidson's checkered flag. But Robert Lettingham and his Troyer out of Port Colborne was absolutely untouchable, and we'll put a little star by him. Cliff Warner, the winner last week. And just to show you, the cars are pretty evenly matched, and it's anybody's race any given week. Rob Lingham picks up the feature win. There he is. On the eve of Mother's Day here at Merrittville. And Rob Lingham just running circles around the rest.
Made it look easy. Took the lead from Bossy early. Remained in the lead.
Out of the car and getting his helmet off if he can. Rob Lingham, we get that helmet and balaclava off to be able to hear the crowd. There's Mel Swart out there. Alex Bruce again doing the honors. Track photographer. Helmets off, and they're putting their hands together for the young Port Colborne pilot, Rob Lingham, winning the feature event. He's going to draw 50-50 draw prize number. 31, the finisher, was the number 2 car. Pardon me, the number 2 finisher, the 31 car, I should say. Sorry, George Bossy of Niagara Falls. And finishing in third, the 14W of Cliff Warner. Then the 3A of Paul Ashton out of Ridgeway. Larry Senegay finishing in 5th place. Dennis Follett 6th in 23D. 8th place, the number 20 of Jay Mallerie. Finishing in 9th, the number 12 car of Trevor Wilkins out of Niagara Lake. And number 10, the 82 of Dwayne Winfield out of Fort Erie. So there's a nice shot of Mel Swart and our feature winner in the Sportsman class, Rob Lingham out of Port Colborne. Boy, Mel sure enjoys himself, doesn't he? He's been here since the track opened in the early 50s. And as we bring the modifieds out, as the modifieds come out, before we stop them on the front straightaway for their introduction and the invocation, let's have a chat with Caister Center driver of the number 1, Joe Plazik.